Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
Number 87 on the 49ers roster countdown, linebacker Chazz Surratt. And if you're a college football person, then you know this name. But he wasn't a linebacker. He was a quarterback. This was an all-state championship, whatever quarterback, one of the top-rated quarterbacks coming out of high school, went to the University of North Carolina to play quarterback, made a position switch after starting a lot of games in the ACC. And just such a very unique experience. One of the newest 49ers, and look, I'll admit to one of the biggest issues of this roster countdown is we go through and do all of our rankings, Zach, Ben, Josh, and myself, and then roster changes continue. I think Chazz Surratt would have been higher on this list, but we went ahead and just replaced Deshaun White, the linebacker that was, waived on the roster. They brought on Chazz Surratt. And so that's why he lands at 87 here. But I'm going to be honest with you, probably should have been in the 70s, maybe even back into the 60s. But this is a flaw in the process of the 91 roster countdown that we do. But that's okay. He's a damn good player. And so transition from quarterback to linebacker in college, was a third-round draft pick to the Minnesota Vikings. It didn't really pan out very well, and that was just a really, really weird draft in and of itself with, COVID and all that kind of stuff. That was the, real quick, that was the 2021 draft. He got drafted third round, 78th pick. Again, same round as Trey Sermon, Ambry Thomas, but there were still some hits in the third round. Milton Williams, Nico Collins, Quinn Minor, Spencer Brown. Chazz Surratt, I don't think, would qualify as a hit, as, he only played... He played in 9 games for Minnesota, but then everybody got fired. And, with what happened there, and then he got waived. Then he got picked up by the Jets, where he, found a way to play. It wasn't very much on defense. Only 146 defensive snaps in his career. He's a special teams guy. He's a 664 special team snaps in his career. This is a Brant Boyer. This is a Robert Saleh type of guy. So let's go through a little bit of Chazz Surratt and what makes him who he is, besides just being such a unique individual. I love the way he spells his name. Chazz with 2 Z's, Surratt, 2 R's, 2 T's, a lot of double letters there. 6'2", 229, 30-inch wingspan, 28 years old. He ran a 4.5 40, 7.043 cone, and a 31.5-inch vertical with 25 bench press reps. Going into his 5th season. He's from Denver, North Carolina, went to East Lincoln High School, and went to North Carolina. And, not only did he go to North Carolina to play football, they wanted him on the basketball team. This dude is a freak athlete that can kind of do it all. Quarterback, linebacker, special teams. Playing at North Carolina, that's no joke. And, in fact, for his senior day game at North Carolina, Roy Williams came out, who recruited him and gave him his basketball jersey that he would have worn had he chose to play basketball for UNC. He chose to focus on football instead. Younger brother Sage was all-conference wide receiver at Wake Forest, so athleticism, it's in the family. And he's got the intelligence. Was a big-time chess player and did lots of tournaments as a kid, all those different things, 229 touchdown passes, a high school state record in North Carolina. This dude was recruited to play quarterback at a big-time college football program and then transitioned, which I think was probably the smart choice, because I don't think he would have caught on in the NFL. Now he's going into year 5 in the NFL, so he's kind of turned it into something. He made the switch to linebacker in the 2019 season and became a first-team All-American right off the bat. How crazy is that? He can kind of just do everything. Now, you look at his stats, 37 career tackles in 4 years, not great. 2 tackle for losses, 1 quarterback hit. He's got 5 starts. Understand that's not why he's being brought to the 49ers. Linebacker depth, yes. This is a special teams play that perhaps can sub in versus pass-heavy teams in the passing game, because that's where he excels. The film, athleticism, awareness, lateral movement. Obviously, the quarterback background helps, but the run game liability, that's why he doesn't get to play too much on defense. Not the best tackler either, but he's intense, and you see him being hyped up on special teams all the time. He's a Robert Saleh, Brant Boyer guy. It's just he's a liability against the run. So if you're playing a heavy pass team, you want to blitz him. That's why I think he got drafted in Minnesota. He's a blitzing linebacker that can cover. That is just not really there whenever it comes to the run game. Injury, he had an ankle issue in 2023, missed 3 games. 49ers brought him in on a 1-year, $1.15 million deal. Not that much, but $315,000 in guaranteed money. Like I said, he comes in number 87, Chazz Surratt, on our roster countdown. I think he probably should have been around that 68, 73 range if we had to do it all over again, but here we are. Now, Robert Saleh and the Jets were on Hard Knocks the year that they brought him over. And, you know, there's a clip in the preseason where Chazz Surratt gets an interception, and they cut to, you know, Robert Saleh mic'd up, and I can't put the clip on. I tried putting the clip up, and YouTube took it down, but whatever. The quote is, like, Robert Saleh is smiling, as, you know, Robert Saleh goober is. I love it. That's my dog. That's my dog. That guy is so good. He is so good. Like, that's the quote. Like, Robert Saleh loves this guy. Johnny Holland was asked by Larry Krueger just recently, you know, about how he feels about Chazz Surratt. And Johnny Holland, I didn't know this. He says, you know, Johnny Holland played quarterback before he played defense. And he said, quote, I love guys that play quarterback first, and he is super athletic and smart, end quote. Glad to have him. And he talked about how they were high on Chazz Surratt as well when the draft, but, I mean, he went in the 3rd round, which was a major, major reach, and just really hasn't been able to solidify that yet. But he's going to be a special teams guy. Best case scenario, makes the 53-man roster as a special teams ace. It kind of plays like that DFF role where, like, he can come in on some 3-down linebacker sets, but I don't think the 49ers want that. I think he's going to be a backup linebacker that could give you depth, but start on every single special teams group. I think that's what it is. Now, most likely scenario is Luke Gifford, Curtis Robinson if he gets healthy, and Chazz Surratt. I think they're kind of all fighting for that same spot. Luke Gifford got paid. They gave him a lot of guarantees, so I think Luke Gifford has the first shot at that, but do you carry 2 special teams linebackers? There's room for that. It's just not a lot of teams do that. So Curtis Robinson, man, can he get healthy? Is he going to stay on the pup and just not count? Those are kind of the 3 names to watch there. But, you know, I would put this at a 50-50 that he makes the team. You know, is he going to be on that initial 53? Do you try to get him back on the practice squad and call him up week 1, week 2, whatever else, what that looks like? Injuries are going to be key, but can he prove that he can make it the linebacker rotation? If Chazz Surratt can do that, then I think he's going to be involved, because the special teams, check. Like, he is an above-average quality special teams player, and he knows. He's been with Brant Boyer. They brought him in, and they moved on from Deshaun White, who was probably a better linebacker than special teams player. They're kind of figuring out what it is that they want out of that spot. And so the fact that he has that super high floor of, dude, just put him on every single special teams unit. He's going to bring the energy. He's got the passion. He's got the intelligence. He knows the system defensively. This is a Robert Saleh guy. All those linebackers that were carried over from Nick Sorensen, from D'Amico Ryans outside of Fred Warner, none of them are Robert Saleh guys. Chazz, Robert Saleh guy. So I think he has a little bit of a leg up. So number 87 on our countdown. But again, you got to asterisk it, because I think he's higher. I really, really do. And I think we're going to see Chazz Surratt in the red and gold this year in the regular season. And I hope that he makes it, because he's just such a fun player. Quarterback to linebacker, and could have played basketball at UNC. Come on, man. I want me some athletes. I want the smarts. I want the intelligence. Fun player, and I'm glad to have him on the 49ers. And for us, we'll just keep counting them down.